There are over 300 museums across the country. Museums in the Northwest include history museums, military museums, and natural history museums. In Lichtenburg, there are two museums, the Ampi Bosman, which was gutted by fire, and the Northwest Agricultural Museum. The Northwest Agricultural Museum was established in 1992. It is one of the few in the country, and it is one public agricultural museum in the province. The museum has challenges such as budget cuts and lack of electricity due to cable theft.
And without that committee, the museums that do not have structures so that the funds can be transferred to them are struggling as we speak. And we've got a total of 10 museums in the province. And what I can say to you is that less than 5 of those receive support from the provincial government.
The museum shows the development of agricultural equipment from the olden days to more modern methods.
Here we've got few of the indigenous heritage objects that shows how indigenous people used to farm.
The Ditsobota local municipality says the lack of funding from provincial government is a major concern.
We have escalated the matter to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture to come into the party because municipality alone cannot be able to manage these facilities. So we have requested, or we have written some letters to the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture to ensure that they come into the party, they assist municipality with funding, so that at the end of the day we should be able to see this facility being up and running.
The Federasie van Afrikaanse Kultuurvereniginge says communities must get involved in the conservation of their culture.
If you look at the national state of heritage in our country, is dismal at best. How many times has Paul Kruger's statue been vandalized? Louis Botha's monument in front of Parliament, in front of the police, being vandalized. You have the Carolina Burger monument that was vandalized. Paul Kruger's grave was vandalized and the head was stolen off. There's so many examples of what happens in destruction of heritage and vandalism of heritage in our country. And this is where the FAK has to come in. And that's where communities have to come in. And that's why we are now calling on communities to look at the heritage in your country, in our country and in your towns.
Meanwhile, the Department of Arts and Culture in the Northwest has disputed claims of underfunding of museums.
As for our department, we put money aside on an annual basis to keep our museums afloat. On average, we spend about 2 million per annum. Some of the museums, for example, the one in Groot Mariko is under an independent NPO. If you go to Solong, we've got Ikageng, which falls under the traditional authority, and a number of them fall under municipalities.
The Northwest Museums Committee says that the conservation of museums will help in growing the provincial economy. Zebilon Maine, SABC News, Lichtenburg.